What's going on, guys? Welcome to Superfriends. This is episode 68, and I'm your host, Nick, and I am joined by Luke.
Hey, guys.
Tim.
How's it going, everyone?
And CJ.
What's up, guys?
Alright, so, we have a lot of DC topics to talk about, and a lot of, viewer questions, actually. A lot of good questions this week, too, and actually some good news just all around in general. This is, very... I guess this is a more positive DC news week, because the last two has been kind of the whole Ben Affleck leaving, and then the Aquaman trouble, or not Aquaman trouble, but other movies having
the Flash and
the Flash rewrite thing.
Page
On a side
rewrite.
note to that, does anyone feel like for it being the closest to us, we're getting the least information about Wonder Woman?
It's kind of been flying under the radar, yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting to get a trailer for it during the Super Bowl, at least a TV spot, but
Or
I haven't
Turkish
really heard
Airlines.
about it in a while.
I think there was a edited version of the last trailer, after the day after.
Yeah.
I think it was on some Spanish channel, but
I was kind of
it was
hoping
La
for
Telenova.
Yeah, I was hoping.
I mean, it wasn't really any new footage. It was the same footage, but still.
I was kind of hoping for another Turkish Airlines sponsored spot, but I realized, given the time period, it would have been Ottoman Airlines, and that would have seemed weird. People wouldn't have gotten it.
Invisible Airlines.
I can
There you
forgive a lot of the faults if they just have a Turkish Airlines commercial every once in a while for their movies.
Dude, I don't think
There
Turkish
you go,
Airlines
you
wants
gotta
to
make
work
up
with them after
commercials.
BVS flopped.
Who did the Turkish Airline one this time? I forget.
I think they just sponsored they had a Turkish Airlines commercial with Morgan Freeman, and then they just sponsored
Hey,
the
that was
pregame
it, Morgan
show.
Freeman.
They literally they had I walked into the room and they had the logo on the pregame show desk, and I was like, oh, that's a little weird. How much money did that cost? But
Yeah.
no Ottoman Airlines commercial, unfortunately.
Okay. How are you guys doing tonight on this illustrious evening?
It's pretty illustrious, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's one word, I guess, to describe.
I can't wait for people to hear Luke's audio on that Justice League Dark commentary. It's gonna be so
really
good.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that going up. I actually had a lot of fun recording that.
I still have not
It was
heard
good
it.
fun.
I know Nick didn't, but the rest of us did.
Yeah, you guys aren't interested in actual film discussion and commentary.
I'm interested in actual film discussion, but Justice League Dark I don't think warranted it.
That-
Fine,
There's
there
a
was-
lot going on that he
There was
hasn't
some great
seen
film in
before.
there. There's some great camera angles and
Nick, would you say it's Kino?
no, it was Animino.
Animino?
Animino? I thought I was gonna say cinema, just a step below.
Cinema. It's a popcorn.
Yeah, is
flick.
that going on YouTube or is that just a SoundCloud Patreon thing?
We might
I don't know.
drop it on Patreon maybe a week early or something like that. If it's really good, I don't want to keep it from YouTube, especially because I know a lot of people, more people about how many subscribers are we at? 74,500.
It's like
something.
75 by the time
Yeah.
this goes up, probably.
When it comes
74,000.
out, remember in the comments to let us know if you liked mine, Luke, and Will's contributions.
Yeah. 74,998
Prove
more
Nick
people
wrong.
are on YouTube than Patreon. So
Yeah, because the whole movie I was like, wow, I really love the character interaction in this scene. It's really telling about the
it's very
The
deep.
dialogue.
And
To be
metaphorical.
fair, you kind of popped in and out sporadically in terms of the commentary itself.
You know what's
I
really
would say
interesting?
also, to be fair, we kind of took that over, so I
Yeah,
can't
we kind of
blame them too
bogart.
much.
Yeah, that was our fault too, but
What's
it
re-
wasn't.
To be fair, it had there was a lot of
It was
funny
a
moments
mess.
in there. To be fair,
What's really funny is
Yeah.
I've heard the entire thing as a metaphor for this really niche 80s movie called Excalibur. Nick, did you mention that? There was this whole allegory.
no, I said it was
for
an allegory
Excalibur.
for the Vietnam War.
That's true. I completely forgot about that. It's you just discussed this. You wrote a thesis. Who was that dude that made those videos back in the day? The ones with the
Who?
really soothing kind of voice about Man of Steel. Oh man,
I'll look him up.
because I
I'll
was
let
just
you know, but-
remembering Nick sent me that video.
Oh, his name was Real Analysis.
Yeah, he just spoke very very soothing videos. It's you
Mhm.
will like Man of Steel.
Yeah, you should do ASMR
Um,
videos.
That'd be good. That would be good.
That's what it was called.
So going back to the commentary though, that Justice League Dark one, Water Crook and whoever else is the other Patreon, definitely check that out this weekend. It'll be up on
Our-
Patreon.
our
sounds-
Patreon.
It sounds really
All
funny
two
once
of
you when you break it down, it sounds really funny. 2 people are gonna get it.
Yeah, you guys will get that, and then it'll be up on YouTube probably like a week later or
I
something.
mean, I
for
can't
everyone
blame them.
else.
I can't blame them. We really didn't do anything with the Patreon for a long time. I honestly
I mean,
kind of
yeah,
forgot
I
it was
can't
there.
blame him, but it's just he just put it into words. It just
Yeah, it's not exactly the revenue.
That's our
stream we were hoping.
exclusive donor thing.
Yeah. What's
Hopefully
Patreon?
we can build up more of a base there.
Yeah, but you
One
know,
day.
speaking of partners and everything, is there anything else we want to add before we get
I
into
actually
the topics?
think I should mention contractually. This episode is brought to you by Loot Crate. Yes, Loot Crate, that awesome subscription service. You can actually get it even cheaper. I know Valentine's Day is coming up. You might be getting a little late Valentine's Day present in there. But Loot Crate is this awesome subscription service. They send you this box full of unique goodies every month, including a t-shirt you literally can't get anywhere else. And all of these items relate to a unique monthly theme. And February's theme is actually Build. It's got some stuff from Tetris in there. Power Rangers, or was it Power Rangers? I believe Power Rangers is in there as
Yeah,
well.
Power Rangers. Is one
Yeah,
of them.
some Lego thing
So
or something.
it's mostly Lego oriented. Of course, they've got Lego Batman coming out this weekend, so I'm sure that was the big impetus for that. But you can actually get 10% off any subscription just by using our promo code BRIDGE10 and our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybridnetwork. Forgot a little bit of what the end was there, but go to that link and then use the promo code BRIDGE10, get 10% off any subscription, the 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or even the whole year, and get all that great stuff even cheaper. So without further ado, we can actually move on to the episode.
All right.
I was hoping that Nick would pick up what I was throwing down there with building our fan base on Patreon, but it was all for naught.
See, we're too used
I
to the
tried to
Will
transition, guys. I did.
We're too used to the bad ones. That was a little too good. It was just a little too high level for
Yeah,
us.
that was too subtle. You got to be more direct and say
Yeah.
we're moving
I
on.
put emphasis on build.
See, it would have been a great transition if you had said, and speaking of building, you know what else? It's like Loot Crate.
I actually tried to, but Nick cut me off.
Yeah, that was a Will. That was a Will level transition. That Will guy. He's got all those horrible transitions. But anyways,
Will is the transition
moving
king.
yeah, moving on to the news topic. So starting off with the DCEU, Super Bowl Sunday, they actually released a new shot from Justice League. It's like an action shot, and we got some new details about Cyborg today. That it's confirmed that Cyborg, I guess, is made up or is contained with the third mother box in the universe. Because I think the Amazons have one, the Atlanteans have one, and then I guess Cyborg is the third one. So it kind of,
Yeah.
when I heard that, it kind of reminded me of the whole, like, how Vision has the Soul Stone, or not the Soul Stone, I mean, whatever,
The Mind Stone.
how
Mind Stone,
Vision has
yeah.
that. So it's like, so is Darkseid going to be after Cyborg now or something, or how does that work?
That actually is really neat. I mean, we kind of saw that his origin was tied to the Mother Box in that little brief teaser that we got for Cyborg and Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think it kind of makes sense. For some reason, I don't know why more people kind of hadn't thought of this. I know I definitely hadn't before this news broke, but yeah, I guess he kind of just fused with it more or less. But that makes sense. I mean, we knew there were 3 Mother Boxes, so this is, I guess, they found Earth's Mother Box, and he's fused with it now.
Is that what happened to him in the New 52? I don't think I actually read any of the Justice League stuff.
I know he could create boom tubes. I forget if he was a mother box or not.
It'll be cool if he can make the boob tubes in the movie, actually.
That would actually be really useful. That might be something that they have to learn for that movie.
They're like,
for
yeah,
Justice
you're
League.
useful.
Extremely
actually.
useful.
Yeah, you can make
Extremely.
boobs.
You don't
You're
just
used-
look like Megatron from the neck down.
Hey guys, look what I can do!
Just fires
Yeah, what's
him
up
out
with
of his...
that weird arm cannon? It's like really thin.
It
small.
did
It
look
looks
really
like
weird.
the laser
I thought it
sword
was-
from Halo.
Yeah, I thought it was a sword, and it took me a little bit to realize it's a cannon.
I think they said
Unless it's not a cannon. I don't know what
I
it is.
still like how none of the actors are interested in whatever it is they're looking at off screen.
All of them nonplussed.
I think they kind of mentioned
All
he can
these
like...
images tell me whatever we're facing, we're not particularly invested in it.
Damn.
Everybody's just kind of
The
mean
putty.
mugging
This
in the
movie
middle
is
distance.
this movie is too damn long. We're just trying to get through our
There
contracts.
you go.
Yeah, it's 3 hours long, Luke.
Apparently.
It's very long.
That was...
Yeah.
I mean, that's... and that was, I mean, I don't want to say like the length was one of the criticisms of Batman v Superman, but it's one of those things where it's like it gets mentioned when your movie is like 2.5 hours long. So the solution apparently is make it 30 minutes longer.
Yeah, I mean, length I don't think is an issue. I mean,
No.
just look at the Lord of the Rings.
Well,
but-
as long as you
course.
can fill it intriguingly. Like Lord of the Rings.
Like,
Yeah,
if-
length is an issue
if
if it
it's-
doesn't drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's just like 30 to 40 minutes of just boring shit happening, and that goes on for like a good bit of your movie, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, that's
But-
not good.
Yeah, it's like that
But,
Avatar movie. That was like 3
Yeah,
hours.
again, I just want to point out, I
That
mentioned
got
this before
boring
we
near the end.
I mentioned this before we started recording. Wonder Woman has the exact same face that she has in every film appearance that she has so far. Batman v Superman, the Wonder Woman trailers, it's all the same face.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, that's just consistency.
That's
That's what you
amazing
want.
acting.
I know.
It's amazing acting. She's able to stay consistent through all the movies.
She is the connective thread. Her face being like that is a
That
connective thread.
face.
It's we've
Yeah,
figured it out. We've cracked the code.
I kind of like the Aquaman armor a little bit. I just wish it had more color to it. Like, it looks kind of washed out.
Me
Well,
too.
they're probably still putting the filter over it like they did for Wonder Woman's outfit.
I mean, I
Yeah.
like the. I do like the look of the armor more than kind of the like half sleeve and shoulder pad that he was rocking in the first image. But it definitely, yeah, you're right. It could definitely use more color. But it looks like, I mean, if you just made it the right color, or even just gold, he would look, a little more like Aquaman.
Some orange in there, some gold.
Yeah, get a little
I
orange.
think-
And if you
green.
made it silver, he would look like Liam Neeson from Clash of the Titans.
That's actually
Yeah,
exactly what I was
exactly.
thinking.
He'd
I
say
think it
release
looks
the Kraken.
fine. I just
He could release the Kraken.
He literally could. He's Aquaman. That's like
that's
in
something
the
you
job
can
description.
feasibly do.
I mean,
Yeah.
but as far as the length goes, it's like, how long is the Ultimate Edition going to be for this one?
4 hours.
4 hours.
That's how
4
long
and a half
BVS
hours.
was.
Christ. That's how long BVS felt.
It felt that way, at least, yeah.
So this is why it's called the Extended
No,
Universe.
There you
BVS
go.
felt like 4 months later watching it.
It was a beautiful lie.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of the whole length issue, it just has to be like a really, really good movie. But even then, I don't really trust the movie being that long. I don't think Warner Brothers wants the movie to be that long either.
I mean, it's
Was where
I
did
mean,
that
even
where
with
did that come
movies
from?
that like I've enjoyed that are that long, like I don't really think that they're particularly that rewatchable when you have them be that length. And like, just me personally, I kind of fades out by the end regardless of what it is.
yeah, I mean, to me, it's like Lord of the Rings is a really good example. It's like, you've just got to be engrossed in that universe. And I know I was. But I know a lot of people that weren't and didn't like Lord of the Rings for that reason. And they're like, it's like 3+ hours long, this movie you want me to watch. And I'm trying to explain to them, it's like Middle Earth, this epic battle against Sauron, this journey.
The Hobbit.
Let me
It's
bust
like, it's
out
the
the
Return of the King.
Silmarillion.
Basically, let me tell you from the beginning. But
Let me tell you a tale.
Appendix A47.
I mean, it's one of those things where even still, it's like this movie has a titanic, struggle that they've kind of got this thing that they've got to pull off. Basically, if the movie's going to be 3 hours long, and that's making it interesting for 3 hours. It's not an issue to me of like filling the 3 hours, because I mean, Batman v Superman filled the 3 hours, but it's just a lot of it was kind of bland, and even when it was
Not
3 hours
necessary.
long, it was really jumpy. Interestingly enough, so to me, it's like, how is the 3 hours kind of paced and spaced, and how is it filled? Like, what is filling it? Is it? I mean, with the Justice League, with all the setup they have to do, I think it probably should be 3 hours anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah, you have to look at the filling. Does it have rich cream filling like a good Twinkie, or
is
is
it
like
nougaty? Is
Like a Cadbury egg?
Is it like a?
They're filling it
Twix?
mostly with sawdust.
Sawdust and salt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least the salt is in there.
Yeah,
Makes it a little
speaking of
tasty.
salt and sawdust, Aquaman's father was cast. It's Tamura Morrison, who played Django
that
Fett.
was good.
Yeah.
Which is so. I mean, Tamura Morrison is that's an amazing casting. I think his name, a lot of people might not know, but I mean, it's Django Fett. It's Django Fett.
And the
Yes.
current voice of Boba Fett.
Boba.
I know I certainly didn't know who it was.
See, I mean, I don't know, man. I really enjoy this casting partially because I mean it's Django. He's a badass, despite the prequels not being badass.
The prequels are badass.
No, they're bad.
Though, isn't he going to be a fisherman if he's going to be Aquaman's father?
I think so. I think that's probably what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, I think they
I
are
do
doing
find
the
it
whole
interesting that a
lighthouse.
man from New Zealand and a woman from Australia produced a Samoan child.
There you go. It's
Those
crazy
are
how
interesting
nature
genetics.
do that. Crazy how nature do that. But no, I mean if Nicole Kidman signs on, I honestly think that's pretty perfect. I mean you get Tamora who's looks pretty rough and gruff and kind of has that action background with Django Fett, and then Nicole Kidman who's beyond the point of her career where I guess she's getting like starring leading lady roles, and now she's just playing the regal mother of people, and it's like people would kill for those genetics. It's like okay, I'm gonna have this great career as like a leading lady, and then when that's over, it's just I'm gonna be just royalty for the rest of my career. But
No, but he has that cool eye scar like Jason does.
They were casted for Aquaman because they're already down under.
basically,
It's a good one.
Oi,
Tim.
you wanna
You'll be getting an award in the mail shortly. for
basically
that.
a check from the Australian Tourism
Hashtag
Board.
Tim the Comedian, keep it going.
Keep it going. That was a really good episode, by the way.
Wait, what?
Oh, thank you.
Nothing. Never mind.
What episode?
Their secret
There's the
podcast.
discussion this week.
Oh.
They have a secret podcast. They just get on Skype and talk to each other for
That's
2
the
hours.
discussion.
Basically,
The D.
Yeah.
getting the D.
So, just to wrap up though on the whole Aquaman situation, it seems like the movie is really getting good talent, like in terms of the whole supporting cast. Especially,
Right.
the guy that got for Black Manta and everything.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
good get.
With Yahya Abdul-Mateen, if they actually sign him, it's crazy. And we were talking about this before the show, and kind of in some other. I guess last week you guys might have talked about it as well, and then in the news when it actually broke. It's just insane to think that Aquaman is moving the smoothest of all of the DCEU movies right now. Aquaman, who should be the toughest sell, and who I would have thought DC was going to really struggle with, is actually just the production
Well,
is
it's
running very
also the
smooth.
furthest out, so they had the easiest time readjusting anything if they had to.
That's true, and I mean they did early in production. They had to kind of rewrite some of what they were going to do. That's true. I didn't really think of it that way. They just had a lot of time to course correct if something went wrong.
But yeah, I think that Tamora Morrison is pretty cool casting for this. I haven't really seen him that much outside of voice work since Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of the... Also, what was I going to say about the... I was going to say something about Aquaman. Shoot. Oh, I forgot. Let's move on.
Very moist.
Yes.
Let's run it back quick.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's-
they won't notice.
Let's move on, actually. So, next topic we have is video game related. So, in Justice 2, we got a lot of character details about, like, Brainiac, I think Robin, Black Canary, some of the other characters they recently kind of showed off in trailers and stuff. So, wait, CJ, do you have all the details about this? Because I don't think I read them.
I remember a lot of the details. So the biggest ones, of course, were probably, I mean, the Robin one kind of had like a little more in-depth kind of look at the relationship between him and Batman, is that it's still not good, and Robin is still loyal to Superman even in the aftermath of the first game, and considers Superman a little more of a father figure than Batman, which is kind of like the, ooh, shit. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, his way of getting back at Batman for the sickest burn of all time in Injustice 1. But then, so that's kind of the only new details we really have there, is that he's now, of course, in the Robin suit and not the Nightwing suit, and he's mad at his dad. But really, the biggest reveal came from Brainiac, in Brainiac's character description, because we still, even though the trailer kind of let us know he was going to be in the game, and we got a really cool monologue from him, we still don't have a lot of details on him, other than the fact that he looks like Dermot Mulroney for some reason. But apparently he came across Krypton, bottled a couple of cities, and then destroyed it. That's the biggest takeaway from the game, is that apparently he is the one that destroyed
As you
Krypton. Yeah, when you bottle things, what are you going to do with the rest of Krypton? It's like, it's amazing. People just throw away their leftovers so much. But So he destroyed. He was the one that destroyed Krypton, and Supergirl kind of. I guess they said she witnessed it. So she's actually going to be helping Batman, or not Batman. She's actually going to be strangely helping Superman in the game, which I guess it is another thing that they revealed in the character descriptions. But so Brainiac, I guess, has come to Earth because he's heard of Superman, and kind of is like, while I'm here, I'm going to do some more bottling. And yeah, fun
That guy
stuff.
seems like a dick.
Well, what's funny is this kind of comes on the heel of people suggesting that Supergirl might be working for Brainiac because a key piece of art that is, I guess, on the digital deluxe edition of the game is Supergirl armored up, I guess, showing off the gear system, but standing in front of the Brainiac headship, which none of the other characters have in the background. And so I think people might have jumped to a little bit of a conclusion there, myself included, because I really bought into that, but I still think it would be an interesting twist if she's kind of brainwashed and playing both sides, because I think the character detail about her working with Superman and fighting her cousin's enemies, as it's said exactly, kind of runs contra to some of the other stuff that had come out about maybe her training with Batman, interestingly enough. So maybe she's playing both sides and actually working for Brainiac, or maybe they kind of have to team up to take on Brainiac, but either way,
I kind of expect that they'll do like the Panic in the Sky style Supergirl brainwashing plot, and that'll probably be a twist in the story.
Dun, dun, dun. You thought she was hero, bamboozled again.
Like, she'll be on their side, then they'll be revealed to the covert agent, then they'll break the brainwashing, they'll be on their side for real. That's my prediction.
And they team up for a family Kamehameha and blast Brainiac back into space.
Yeah. There's got to be something there, because I know from the beta stuff, Batman hints that he's training her.
Yeah, that's because that was the line that I think I was remembering. Is he says something like, "I need you to take this seriously."
I need you to take this seriously.
Like,
Hey, why didn't you get your beta code yet?
That's a good question.
Probably because I'm not I don't have a stream or a Twitch channel.
Ed Boon is giving them all away on Twitter.
Yeah, he's giving them all away, and he's like, all right, here's good trivia. And he literally is asking, like, who did Superman kill in the first game?
Everybody.
Who didn't he kill?
Very few people.
I think,
Who
I
doesn't
can't
have
remember.
a few dozen corpses?
Yeah, I think he said specific questions like, what villain did he kill in the first few minutes of Injustice 1?
I mean,
and
it's like, okay, Man of Stalin, but...
I mean, if you weren't watching his thing, like, religiously, you were not going to get it, because those are, like, some of the easiest fucking questions.
The good news is it doesn't seem like they're ending the beta anytime soon. I've heard some speculation that they're going to add another character or potentially another couple of characters, so it might keep rolling. I mean, I think we talked...
Surprise!
And
the
all
beta
your
is...
save data will be wiped.
Basically. I mean,
I mean, fair enough.
I'm not shocked they're really doing it, because I think the main thing they're testing is, one, the actual gameplay and finding as many bugs as they can, because that's what betas are for, but I think they're also testing, like, server load and things like that, and very slowly kind of increasing the amount of people. But
most likely they're trying to have a smooth netcode on launch, because I know MKX had a big problem, and then it got smoothed out later on, so I guess they're trying to avoid, like, initial bad connections altogether.
And that's specifically in NetherRealm's... in NetherRealm's recent past is probably something they're trying to avoid, but
I mean, like, I'm sure that it'll be fine, because I know once they patched it through, MKX had like amazing online after that.
That'll be I mean in that case it's prudent of them, and I'm still upset, but I'm not as upset.
Like, I'm not mad at them. I just wish that they had told me it was a closed beta, so I wouldn't have gotten my hopes up.
Luke pulled out his dad line. It's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just kind of exactly.
Wasn't there supposed to be another character revealed today, actually? Like February 7th, but they pushed it back?
No, they clarified it was actually February 13th. They messed up.
Oh.
Which makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, I think I've seen a lot of people speculating it might not be like a new character reveal. It might just be some gameplay for Bane or Poison Ivy or something like that. But
if it's Bane, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in seeing what his
loved Bane in the first one.
His description was really interesting, because it was something like, so Poison Ivy is working with the Society, but of course Gorilla Grodd's kind of, I think it's based on the Society of, was it the Society of Secret Supervillains or something like that, or Society of Supervillains, Secret Society
yeah,
of
that's
Supervillains.
You know what? You're not far off.
It's one of those things. There were a lot of S's in there. but basically Gorilla Grodd puts together this villain team trying to capitalize on the fact that, hey, there's no Justice League right now and Superman's in jail, so let's do that. Let's try and take over. And Poison Ivy's working with them.
This could be fun.
But Bane isn't. So Bane actually is kind of doing his own thing and really weirdly influenced by The Dark Knight Rises, oddly enough, because it's like he wants to bring his own law and order to Gotham to spite Batman or something like that.
He wants to give the people back the power.
Yes, I'm sure it will be a. I'm sure it will be a character arc that is all resolved within one fight.
It's going to be like the tutorial. Bane.
Yeah, exactly.
But
he'll just be, I finally have you, Batman. Then he dies, or he just gets beaten, and that's it. Never seen
I
it
have
again.
my Superman pills.
yeah, there you go.
Oh God, I guess they
Sensu
still have to bring that back, don't they?
But Black Canary got revealed too, and that was actually really interesting because they did reference the fact that she died in the comics, kind of, sort of, without actually saying it.
They referenced it vaguely.
They said she had to flee before the battle was complete because she got lasered in the basically in the tits, and
they don't go into the specifics.
And then she was like, she had to flee, and they don't, like, she's come back, I guess, because it's like, oh, you guys won, so it's time for me to help clean up and take some of the credit. But
she was hibernating.
I think that's as close as we're gonna get. I don't think we're actually gonna get any other reference in the story to that, unless Dr. Fate is in the game, which has been rumored.
Yeah, that leaked
I
list.
think he is. I think he is, because I know the concept art, the helmet of Naboo is among
he's on
the
that shirt.
stuff. So, I mean,
Dr. Fate's in the game, and he brought back Earth's greatest champion, Black Canary.
Yes. Literally the
pretty
unstoppable.
Good. Her gameplay looks pretty cool.
I actually love the fact that she looks like more of a melee-based character, interestingly enough, and I was worried she was going to be a really kind of very strict combo special type character.
Yes.
And
I thought she was going to be gun-based.
I need a
mashing
guy. Or a gal, I guess, in this case.
From what I've seen, she is going to have a huge problem with Deadshot because they had a match together, and holy crap, Deadshot looks like he's going to be tough.
All the guns.
He is the new Deathstroke.
Basically. He is, because like he has fucking ricochet bullets now.
They gotta stop putting gun characters in their games. It never balances well.
Nope. Just gonna snipe.
They're like Batman. He's a gun character.
It's like you get the BBS Batman skin with the assault rifle.
Yeah. Something that was crazy to me is that Deadshot has basically Deathstroke's sniper special, but on block it pushes you like full screen away. So
Ooh.
Even if you block, you're at a huge disadvantage.
Maybe I have a second character to play with.
I'm
looking for the cheapest.
Maybe I can be a coward.
Maybe I can. I always, in those games, I just look for the cheapest thing possible. That is my end goal.
The only thing I can think of is Supergirl's teleport punch could probably be a good punish.
There you go.
So would the Flashes.
I like that.
That's true.
The Flash was like the closest I found to like that Sub-Zero thing we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where that was my exploit in MK9. So
I've been looking up and I can't find that teleport anywhere.
It might have been. You know what? Now that I think about it, it might have been Mortal Kombat versus the DC Universe or something like that.
I saw it in that, and I was like, maybe he's thinking of that. But then I was just thinking to myself, maybe I just never used it.
I did.
But
I feel like it was in 9. Like I feel like I've used it before.
Like
but I might be wrong.
I took y'all's word for it. I just kept looking it up. I was like, I don't see anybody using it. Maybe it's just a shitty move and nobody uses it.
Maybe it's just something that like gamers being bros don't use. But I'm not.
Because I mean, to be fair, he has that ice puddle move where he makes the ground frozen, but nobody fucking uses it.
True. It's like playing Kirby in Smash Brothers. It's like we speak not.
I play Kirby in Smash Brothers.
Son of a
I
bitch.
get so many kills with Kirby in Smash Brothers.
My girlfriend plays as Kirby in Smash Brothers, and she's I mean, the thing is, it's like I don't want to like talk shit because she'll find me, but like it's like she plays as Kirby, so we don't know if she's actually like a really really good Smash player or she's just playing Kirby.
I would love to talk about Smash Brothers. I feel like we got grossly off topic.
We lost the thread somewhere along there.
Yeah, you mentioned the Flash a while back. The Flash has a show on the CW, and you know what other heroes going to the CW? Black Lightning is moving over there
in a move that shocks everybody.
Thank you, Will.
Literally.
DC Will.
DC Will. His spirit is with us.
Yeah.
a wonderful new addition to the.
DC
to the
Will's
hybrid
like the
team.
Free Willy of the podcast. He comes in for the assist.
Hashtag free DC
I'm just
Will.
imagining Will arising from the ocean.
I was thinking it's more of like a Ghost of Napa situation. He's just in here.
Yeah, Will is like he's the whale. He's the Free Willy.
I was imagining Michael on the little
See, Mike-
port, and then Will just doing a big little dive over him.
Michael is the whale.
But so Black Lightning, the next Greg Berlanti based or produced, I guess, CW superhero show. It made sense to me that they would go to CW when they initially
Because if there's
announced
one
it.
thing the CW was lacking, it was a superhero show.
Yeah, when they initially announced that they were gonna do a Black Lightning series, and they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna go to Fox." I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense. It's Greg Berlanti."
Oh
Like,
yeah. I mean, that was the thing. Is like they announced it, and then it was like, oh man, where's it gonna go? It's probably gonna end up on the CW, and it's gonna be a Friday show, and then they have this great Monday to Friday block, and it was like, oh, it's going to Fox, and everyone was like, really?
Is half of the CW's programming now Greg Berlanti-led superhero shows?
he's doing Riverdale too, I think, or something.
Oh, so just comic book shows
Greg-
in general. Okay.
Greg Berlanti-based comic book series. I can't wait for that crossover. The Arrow comes to Riverdale and kills everyone.
I would love it if they did a Predator meets Archie in the show.
Punisher meets Archie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would love it.
with that one guy, what's his name? Thomas
John
Jane.
Bernthal.
Thomas Jane would be great.
Oh.
He just shows up. He doesn't actually have to wear the shirt. It can be like dirty laundry. He just wears like a black trench coat and a black t-shirt. It's like, who are you? You could say, I punish.
That sounds like a CW line.
We call you
so
the
that would
Punisher?
work.
No.
Yeah, so
These are
Black
all-
Lightning. What do you guys feel about this? He's gonna be joining, hopefully, the roster and not being like a separate universe like Supergirl is.
Well, maybe
You would
he'll be in
hope, yeah.
Supergirl's universe. They can get more crossovers there.
That's true, isn't he? He's a Metropolis-based character, isn't he? He's like a part of it.
Oh, they said he's Gotham based.
Oh, I thought for sure his like. Hold up, let me look.
Yeah,
this
I
up,
looked
'cause I
this
thought
up
he was-
actually. The synopsis thing. They
I thought he was
released it.
in New York.
I could have sworn he like lived in Metropolis. Hold up.
I feel like we've looked this up on the podcast before.
We have.
Black Lightning is an enigma. You have to look him up just to make sure.
I mean,
To make sure he exists.
I'm actually excited it's happening because the kind of I think the initial report about this show, or maybe it was when they finally said, "Hey, it's going to Fox." Like whichever one of those news bits had details on the actual show itself, it actually sounded really interesting. He's going to be a little bit of an older character. I think it's like his daughter gets mixed up in something, and he kind of has to dust off the old suit and
I think
return
Thunder
to.
and Lightning are both in there.
Okay, it was
It was
he is in
Metropolis, yeah.
Metropolis. Yeah, Suicide Slum.
So maybe
My
they're.
and that led into me talking about it, that being my favorite name of a location in the DC universe.
It's pretty good.
Why
it's
do
pretty
people?
good.
It's like real estate listings. It's like realtors have got to be like. It's like okay. It's like we need you to sell this house. It's like okay, where is it? Suicide
Why
Slum.
are property
God fucking
margins
damn it.
so low?
Crime Alley and Suicide
Basically.
Slum, man.
Basically.
Just
Bloodhaven.
kind of asking
Bloodhaven.
for crossing home through Crime Alley.
yeah, not their best choice.
So where are they
actually
going to
illegal
set
to
the
fence
show?
criminals.
Because if it is set in Supergirl's world, then they could easily do the whole Metropolis thing. But
Yeah, like
If they do set it in, I honestly am pushing more hope towards it being in Supergirl's universe. One, so that there's more than one active hero in there besides like her side characters, and also the Metropolis connection.
yeah.
I'd be really interested in that. I honestly think that's kind of what I'm wanting to. I actually, before I really sat here and thought about it for a little bit, it's like I came into this podcast thinking like I want him to be in the main CW verse. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it would probably, for the reasons Tim said, it probably makes more sense to have him in Supergirl's universe. Plus, he can still cross over in like the bigger, larger crossover events. But Supergirl's kind of just chilling right now.
They got that pocket-sized cross-universe device that Cisco made in 5 minutes.
There you go.
I like hearing about stuff that the CW has done because I haven't kept up, and a lot of it just sounds utterly ridiculous.
yeah, it's
out of
awful
context.
actually. So moving on. Well, actually, before we move on, there is something we want to mention that is good actually.
Are you trying to throw this to me?
CJ, do you want to build off that?
Free Willy with the assist.
Free Willy with the assist. I need to channel my Free Willy, but I
Time
believe
for the hyper combo.
I believe what Nick is referencing is that this episode is brought to you by Loot Crate, that amazing monthly subscription service that sends you a box of unique goodies every single month because it's a monthly subscription service. And there's a ton of cool stuff in there. Like I said in the beginning of the show, they've got an exclusive t-shirt that you won't be able to find anywhere else, and some really cool kind of knickknacks and doodads. I know I've gotten the couple of months that I had Loot Crate, I got a comic in there, I think, every month, and then I actually have a little baby Groot, well, not a baby Groot, but a Groot pop from right around the time the Guardians of the Galaxy came out. It was really fantastic. I think it was a unique pop, at least as far as I know. So Michael was clamoring for it.
Yeah, it glows in the dark. It's pretty rare.
It does. It's got the glow-in-the-dark hand.
Woo!
It's pretty neat. So it's just, you can get that kind of stuff and more. This month's theme is Build. You've got until the 19th to order it. And you can get 10% off any subscription right now just by using our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybrid network, and the promo code BRIDGE10. Get those savings, guys. Get those savings. BRIDGE10, trylootcrate.com/hybrid network.
Yeah, so with all that said, let's move on to our last segment of the show where we talk about viewer questions. Yay! Everyone,
Yeah!
Yay!
Everyone submits the same questions every week. Please answer these.
The hive mind.
So first question is from our good buddy Scottaplayer Pop Cult Fan. He says, with the Lego Batman movie coming out really soon, which DC hero do you guys want to see have the next or have their own Lego movie? That's a good question because what was it? Oh, we were talking about it on the movie podcast, which you guys can check out. Actually, it's a little plug. Hybrid Movies this week.
Yeah, it's
and
good
we talked a
episode.
lot about. There was actually 2 Lego-based questions, like Lego movie stuff, and so we talked about that. But honestly, like it would be actually thinking about it, it'd be cool to have like a Lego Legion of Superheroes movie.
That'd be really cool.
DC.
It would be
thing.
nice.
Good way to build in that property.
Yeah, Luke,
Do they
what
mean-
would you want to see Legoed?
I would assume that this would be like a theaters thing, not just like a straight to DVD.
Yeah,
So,
Hopefully.
Like in the
Uh,
Lego
Depends on how
movie.
good your answer is.
I mean, I guess the obvious choice would be Lego Superman, but I mean, I don't know. I think a Lego Flash movie would be kind of cool.
That's going to get a page 1 rewrite, actually, right now. Sorry.
Well, little do you know, the Flash movie is just becoming a Lego movie now. They see the success with Lego Batman.
I could see it.
It's
I mean, Phil
decided,
Lord,
fuck it, Lego Flash.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller wrote the original treatment for the Flash
No,
movie, so
Chris
it's like
Lord
it's
and
built
Phil
in.
Miller wrote that.
Chris Lord and Phil Miller.
Yeah, they're the other ones.
Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
they're the Nega versions.
Yeah.
They're from the Bizarro world.
Luke.
Yeah, Tim.
we can't
Tim,
say
what
that.
character do you want to see Legoed?
Yeah, I honestly want to see Superman get this treatment because of all like the tongue-in-cheek jokes that they have with Batman's history. They can do the same for Superman's. They can take stabs at
Oh yeah.
the Snyderverse version. They can take stabs at people thinking that he's boring. Try to subvert that.
So
Yeah, they could they could pull from like all the different eras of even Superman
Yeah,
Lives.
get the George Reeves version, the Christopher Reeves version, or
Yeah.
reverse that. I think it's George Reeves and Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, the unproduced Kevin Smith Superman Lives one.
oh yeah.
Nick
Have,
Cage,
like-
get him in there.
Yeah.
He could be looking through like a scrapbook and seeing all the versions. Like originally it's black and white, and it's the George Reeves, and then Christopher Reeve version, and then with the long hair, and he just flips past that page really quick. He's like, nope, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Just sees Nicolas Cage.
But
and
Channing
quickly
Tatum
flips.
carry it? That's the question.
Maybe if Green Lantern Jonah Hill joins him.
I give that a better chance of happening than the Gambit movie.
It's probably the next like solo DC one that they'll do if they do one.
So I think
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little more. I'm not going to say like I'm thinking more practical, but I mean because I think that's a very practical answer. But I see, and this might be like a direct to DVD thing, dear God, but I really think it would be really funny if they did like a Dick Grayson as Nightwing with the Teen Titans, like Lego Teen Titans movie, with Michael Cera still voicing Dick Grayson. Just because I think that would be I can laugh at my own favorite, but no, I just think that would probably be a direction that they might build towards, not in this movie, but like potentially in this universe. But I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
You gotta build a love interest in for him because Batgirl they're still doing the Killing Joke thing.
Starfire.
Yay, build in Lego Starfire. Let's bring it in. Let's make it happen.
Man, they're building on Tim's little relationship thing.
Building on the right relationship.
True.
Ah.
So what's our next question, Nick?
Classy Ulysses, he says, do you think the Flash rewrite is going to be Flashpoint? No.
No.
No. That would be
would-
them admitting defeat by restarting the universe.
That would be admitting fault. They're in this for the long haul to prove you wrong.
I am gonna play devil's advocate and say yes. I think they're not. I don't think they're really gonna use it as an attempt to rewrite the universe. I think it's gonna be a standalone where things potentially go back to normal. But especially if rewriting the script takes a long time, I could see it happening. Especially if Wonder Woman and Justice League aren't going the way they want it to. Plus, I think it could be an interesting way to give the fans what they want, kind of, because a lot of people want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the Thomas Wayne Batman, and you've got Lauren Cohan, who maybe is never going to be more popular than she is now when she's on The Walking Dead. Still is in that age range where she could play really good Martha Wayne Joker. And also, I think you've got an opportunity because the show kind of screwed the pooch on Flashpoint and didn't really actually do Flashpoint. There's an unexplored territory.
That was the
for you to
worst
do.
adaptation right there.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. So I say yes.
I'm kind of against
Classy.
doing it just because it feels like that's the only Flash storyline they draw upon anymore.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other stories that you can draw upon. I don't know why there's this fixation on Flashpoint.
It's got a cool name. Cool name.
It's because it's the one that like people who just recently got into comics know because it's what led into the New 52
And because
That's
animated movie.
and the animated movie too for
Yeah, it
people
was all
outside
edgy.
of comics.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
people always ask for like Under the Red Hood. It's like, animated
Yeah.
movie.
It's the stuff for verified fans, not
Basically, that's true.
you know.
yeah, next question. Kieran99344 says, if Justice League does not do critically and financially well, will this be the end of Zack Snyder? I'm gonna say probably, but I mean,
I
who
thought he was
knows? I
already
mean,
out the door.
they've let him on for several films after not doing. So who
It
knows?
depends on what his contract is, but I honestly feel that they'll like hold back on giving him further creative control if it doesn't go well.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was already out the door. So
I mean,
I don't know.
They had been distancing themselves, but I think they kind of let the hype for Justice League kind of get them back in with like, okay, maybe he's still the answer, and it was just a bad, a poorly received movie.
They'll soon realize that he is in fact not the answer.
But yes, and if it does not do critically and financially well, to quote Kieran in the unspoken "God forbid," which I like to imagine was sarcastic, yes, he will be gone for good. In that case,
Okay.
question is whether they have to actually reboot the universe or not. But
Yeah. Well.
Well,
So, next question from Watercrook. He says, which DC character in the comics needs less exposure? So, I'm gonna say that this is like a kind of a, for me, I think that there's a few characters that need less exposure, and then they have to substitute those with characters that haven't got exposure recently. So I'm gonna say, obviously Batman, cut him back, dial back the Green Lantern books because they're like doing all kinds of Green Lantern stuff, and even though none of the books are really that good, and and honestly, I think that they should like dial back on the Suicide Squad stuff because that isn't really even clicking either that well. And and if I was gonna replace those, I would say, give Shazam a book, do something with the JSA or the Legion of Superheroes, and do something with the Question again, or Plastic Man.
Yeah.
But
that'd be cool. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Luke, what do you think about this?
Batman, obviously, yeah, that's kind of the big thing right there. Honestly, they could probably just keep Detective Comics going. I wouldn't mind if they just kind of push back on the mainstream Batman book's not terrible, but it's just not really clicking with me right now.
And I hate how he's in JLA now too. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's a little but whatever. Yeah, I guess Suicide Squad 2, just because Suicide Squad also is kind of not great. Pretty bad. I don't really think there's anyone else, honestly. And if I had to replace them, I would just say Shazam and Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Just because Shazam, just kind of a crime that Shazam doesn't have a book, but
Somewhere Josh is like smiling. He just felt this disturbance. He's like, yes.
I just earned my promotion.
Basically.
Yeah, CJ, what do you
Check is in
think?
the mail. It's to me, it's a tough question, Waru. Only because I think DC Rebirth is so young. Like we're still in the first year, and it's only recently that they actually finally got like all the books actually rolling. Just in the last couple of months, I think it was like the last of the books really started rolling. But I kind of agree with the Suicide Squad. I think the push is kind of honestly made me like the Suicide Squad a lot less. But that's not just one character. I mean, Batman as a whole, I don't mind it. I kind of see why they're doing that. But it's interesting that Luke brought up Detective Comics because I think part of the reason why I know I'm liking that book so much is because it's kind of shining the light on the underappreciated Bat Family characters. And that's really fantastic. And I do think Shazam kind of needs more exposure. So maybe roll back on the Suicide Squad and the Batman a little bit, and then let's bump up Shazam. And I think the Question too, because he really hasn't had anything recently.
And we never knew who he was in the New 52.
Exactly.
They like teased all that.
Like, where is
He
he?
just disappeared. He got zapped away.
What happened to him?
Jeff Johns kind of said it might might come back. So he hinted that it'll tie back in. So I'm hoping.
So he's gonna randomly pop out like 5 years later. Hey, I'm back. This is me. I tie into the whole storyline. Yeah.
It's like I'm
Those
here
words
too.
exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly the dialogue.
I tie into the whole.
I guess I'll
storyline.
go now.
Yeah.
Shazma.
Start.
So I guess obviously Batman, they're stretching him really thin at this point. Like even back before this, there was so many books either tangentially related to him or having him as a member of them. You can cut back on that. Just see if people can swim on their own. I'd also say Hal Jordan give the other 3 Earth Green Lanterns a chance before we got the 2 new ones. The other 3 from before Flashpoint. Give them some more exposure.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd say Cyborg, because honestly, I don't feel like he contributes all that much, but they keep trying to push him as like this staple of the Justice League, and it's just never going to click.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep giving him and Constantine their own solo book every time they like relaunch.
It's like he doesn't need a solo book. He can be on the Justice League in a support capacity. He doesn't need to be one of the key members of the team. He doesn't need his own movie. I like Cyborg fine. I love him with the Teen Titans, but the way that they're using him now, like, he doesn't need to be with the Justice League. He doesn't need to be one of their big characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of...
And also Harley Quinn, just because I feel she's
definitely.
getting too much exposure and going in a meme
I
direction.
forgot about her. Yeah, they keep giving
She's
her all
already
these
gone in a meme
spin-offs and
direction.
shit.
Didn't they say she's like the 4th pillar of DC because she sells the 4th best?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said she's the 4th pillar behind... I'm like, what?
Yeah, as long as Will keeps buying those books, she's not going anywhere.
Will, stop buying 100 copies of each Harley Quinn book.
You're keeping her alive. You have to stop, Will. Let her die.
Yeah, it's like that Moon Girl
Tame
thing.
her, Will.
I'm kind of surprised they don't
She
have
is
a
his
Dark
queen.
Universe book either, because I thought they were going to do that with Rebirth, but they didn't do it.
You'd think so.
Maybe in
But-
Rebirth, Rebirth.
Maybe in year 2.
Yeah. So, final question from Watercook as well. He says, if Wally ever appears in the DCEU, would it be the CW Wally or old Wally? Probably the newer Wally
Yeah.
from New 52.
To me, it kind
It's gonna be CW Wally.
Yeah.
It's gonna
The
be
exact
him
actor.
from the CW. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, I think they mean Black Wally or White Wally.
he said CW
Doing-
or old is like
doing
a
a-
nice
a li-
euphemism for it.
Yeah, a little
But-
more politically correct way to say it.
I think it'll be the newer CW Wally, just because, well, one, they've already cast Kiersey Clemens as Iris, assuming she stays on the picture.
Yeah, she might drop out.
She might.
Yeah.
And then, two, I think it kind of depends on how much the script is rewritten from what Rick Famuyiwa kind of wanted to do. If it's really like page one, burn this and start over, then I think it could go either way. But I
Born
just
after
think,
reading.
basically,
Yeah.
I just think they'll do. CW is a little more socially hip. Let's say.
Well, all I know is that since old Wally is in the comics now, I can almost rest assured New 52 Wally will be in the movies. It seems to be the only thing they really seem to take any inspiration from.
No, they gotta do old Wally. They gotta have some more gingers in Hollywood.
It's not enough gingers.
I
Where's
don't know
all
if they're in a
the?
position to, because isn't Iris's actress black?
Yeah, true. But
She
No,
might.
she'll
be.
drop out.
She might
They'll
drop out
recast
too,
her.
because I
It
know.
must-
I know
might
she was
drop
like,
out,
it's a
true,
shame.
but I feel like if she drops out and they replace her with a white actress, there'll be controversy.
probably.
I feel that she's
there's
she's
anything-
going to be like CW Iris for the foreseeable future.
No.
So unless they go fan four stick style.
No.
Remember when Rick dropped out of Flash? She said it's in God's hands now. I'm like, what?
I literally thought Nick was just gonna say, "Remember when Rick dropped out of Flash?" and that's it.
Good times.
Those are good times. Yeah, I like that.
Good time. Remember when Flash lost 2 directors? Good times.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for the days of Seth Graham-Smith again. Like I like that.
What's really funny is, did you see the exchange between him and Chris McKay on Twitter, where somebody was like, "Please do the Flash movie," and he's like, "I'd love to do Flash," and Seth Graham-Smith jumped into the conversation and was like, "Me too."
Aww.
And then they were like, "Oh, it was a hilarious exchange," and I guess they kind of both made light of that for a few minutes. But
Dang.
Oh, geez, we're going over a little bit.
you laugh and then you cry. But yeah,
Dang.
Should probably close
The
this out.
bejeepers.
the bejeebers.
So, that does wrap up Super Friends episode 68. Thank you guys again for coming back every week and leaving the same questions over and over again, and nice comments,
Your
everything.
persistence keeps us motivated.
Yeah, good or
That's
bad
true.
comments are good. And, I guess we'll catch you guys in the next episode.